Okay, here we are, Redaction. We are back here now for conference week. We're going to take a look back over the divisional games and see how we did with our predictions as well. Take a look at the two games we've got coming up this week, and then we'll have a little look at the hats and see how we're feeling about that one. So, Matt, where are you joining us today with that wonderful purple lighting you have behind you?
It could have been worse. I had the main light on and it looked like I've got a halo above my head. I'll have to put it on in a minute and show you.
No one would have bought that,
Matt. I was just waiting for you to say that you weren't actually in a hotel and this is just, how you like the boudoir in the evenings.
You've had it pimped up. That's his spare room, Greg.
Well, if there'd been a mirror on the ceiling, then we would have been in trouble, I reckon.
He can't put a mirror there. That's where he hangs the sex swing.
Oh dear. Right, so joining us from somewhere up north is Matt, and Jez is settling in with a nice little tipple this evening.
The southern contingent.
So it could get lively after 40 minutes. We'll see how he goes. Right, okay, so where are we going to kick off today? Should we start at the top and work our way down?
Let's do that. Cover this week's games? Or last week's games?
Yep. Let's start there then. Heroes and Magpies. So our first game, and it's a road win.
Did we all call this? Did we all call the Heroes to win?
I'm sure I went Mags.
Yeah.
Did you?
Yeah, it was. I couldn't
in
remember.
My infinite wisdom.
I know I called them to win, but I can't remember who else.
Yeah, so you thought it was going to be an absolute slugfest with 73 points.
Well, to be honest, I just pick a score out the middle of nothing there.
Yeah.
No, surely not. Surely there's scientific reasoning involved in it.
So I've won that.
So yeah, I think at the preview was this one quite close. This was a 10-point spread on the preview, and that is how it finished.
The spread was for the Mags, though.
Oh, was it?
Yeah.
Never mind the detail. Let's just look at the number, eh?
I'm sure. Oh, well, I think it was. Let's
double check. Oh yeah, it was the Mags.
Yeah.
So it's 20 points difference as opposed to being spot on. So yeah, preview knows nothing. Right. Okay. So another good result for Colin here. Kind of felt that he had a good chance against the Magpies. And from what Gary was saying, just getting that running game shut down, and that was it. I mean, Lobley.
That was the key. Holding Lobley, and Doe and Minty just did their thing. 254 yards. Fucking hell. Insane stuff. And they turned the ball over 3 times as well, Heroes. So, fair play. I mean, Mags had more of the ball and way more first downs and moved the sticks, but they didn't convert that into touchdowns. That was a big difference.
What's worrying is that the Magpies have probably built a really good defense and probably game plan to stop Doe and Minty, and probably didn't really get anywhere near it, really, did they? So game on for this week.
Yeah. Well, no one stopped Doe and Minty all season, have they? Are they both number one in their position? Doe's number one quarterback, isn't he? Is Minty number one receiver?
I think so.
Either him or the Scorps receiver, I think. can't remember which. Although the Scorch receiver missed a couple of games, didn't he? I think the number one in the Pro Bowl voting for the CFC.
Oh, look at that. Neil's got 7 yards on him.
It's the MFC, they don't count, do they?
And Minty's top wide receiver, yeah.
Yeah, so I think last week we did say it looked like a one-dimensional offense for the Magpies. Lobley was he best rusher and best receiver? So stop Lobley, win game seemed to be the way it would go. That appears to have been what has happened.
Yep.
So yeah,
17 yards on 25 carries isn't going to win you a game.
No, that's crazy. I mean, he's had a reasonably good average through the season, I think, hasn't he?
We looked at, was he 5? Something like 5.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You'd take that all day, wouldn't you?
Yeah, absolutely.
It's a bit low for me. Bit low on a running back for me.
Colin's comment confused me. He said about having his first 3 extra points blocked. And I thought, fuck me, I've never seen that. So I scrolled down and he didn't have his first 3 extra points blocked by the look of it.
He did.
One from 4 from extra points, yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I think that's what it was. Yeah.
Ah, right, okay. Oh, I missed that. My bad.
1 from 4 on extra point. That means he's put up. That means we put a big nose tackle up in the special teams unit, which is always my bugbear. You can never see what anybody's playing at special teams unless it drives me nuts. I don't understand why there isn't a page where you got your offense and defensive players. And you can't see who's playing special teams. It doesn't make any sense to me.
The only inkling you get is the only inkling you get is the comment to say this coach has got by far the better special teams today, and you get the analysis in the on the analysis tab. You get the figures on the analysis tab, but you don't get that compared to the opposition's special teams. So yeah, they're a bit of a mystery, aren't they?
Yeah, but sometimes in the game commentary, you do return, say you run a return back 40 yards. That's fine. You then pump the ball and their returner knocks it back 20 yards. It says they've got the best special teams in the game. So you're like, what? So it doesn't make any sense. It's just, I think there should be a special teams tab where you can just see the list of players like there is for the offense and defense.
Mm.
I don't think that'd be a particularly hard thing to implement, I would have thought.
But with all the things that go on with special teams, do you think that's the most important thing that needs to get fixed with special teams?
I think there's nothing wrong with special teams, in my opinion.
Me
So
either.
people haven't got returners. It's all them people haven't got returners that are moaning about special teams.
Yeah, I agree completely. I think, well, possibly the only thing that's wrong about it is that there aren't enough returners. So the people that haven't got good special teams moan about special teams and the power or returners being overpowered. But if you've got a level 18, 19, 80 quick returner, I mean, a return like that on their own is going to be okay. But with the blockers and with, the complementary aspects of the special team in there as well, they're going to be bloody good. But it's no different to investing in your offense or your defense. If you invest in your special teams, then you get the rewards for it.
There's a simple answer to beating special teams and kick returns. Get a bloody good kicker that's about level 18 that'll give you a touchback every time. That's the way. That's the way to beat returners. Is to get a blooming good kicker that's got a big boot. Probably named Big Boot if he was playing for me.
Kick to end zone. So I'm not entirely sure that is the best way because you talk about getting a kicker up that high, but there's still the percentage of times that it will actually kick it into out the back of the end zone or into the crowd. It's still, for the kind of level you're getting up to, it's still not as high a percentage as it probably should be as a counter. And that was what I was going to say. It's kind of like when you do know people have specialist players that are going to help them, like in this game, Lobley, Collins looked at that and gone, if I stop this guy, this team goes nowhere. And you can set up for that. But you can't set up particularly well to be able to counter someone who probably has a couple of really high level returners. Now some people will be like, well, they don't get that higher level because once they get up to a certain level, it's point this, point that, but they make a difference. But if you were to then put a really high level, I don't know, you've got to weigh up those risks of injuries on special teams against putting your star players in there. But if you go and put someone in there, they're not going to be any higher than level 8, level 9 anyway. So again, it's that kind of, what do you do to counter it? And is there enough there? Because the balance has always got to be right if kickers aren't doing it.
I don't know. I would say that if it's a playoff game, it's an important game you want to win, I'll play stars on special teams. I've played my entire O line or D line sometimes, as blockers, starter levels 13, 14, 15, whatever they are. I've even put a level 18 on special teams before, because I knew special teams was what's going to win me a game potentially.
I've done that before as well. Don't you lose the you get a bonus for keeping the same players in the special teams throughout the season?
You do, yes.
You get your experience as well, don't you?
Yeah.
You get experience, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I don't know how effective that bonus is compared to, like you say, Matt, pulling them all and sticking your level 18 guard in as a blocker and letting them run riot.
Yeah.
I wouldn't do it for the whole season. I'd just do it special games, ones where I think it's going to be. I won't play it against a rebuilding side. I know full well I can, run the ball down the gut and, still win by 40 or whatever. It's them playoff games or close divisional rivalry games where you think you've got a chance or you think you just need that little edge just to knock you over the top. You take a chance, they might get injured. It might ruin your season if they, it's all about chances. What sort of risk are you willing to do?
If it's a playoff game, your season would have been ruined anyway by losing because your special team wasn't good enough.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Why not risk it?
Be interested to see if we could work out what's what benefit there is to pulling a consistent special team unit that had that bonus and switching them out for starters. Whether that's what sort of levels you'd need to change to overcome the consistency bonus.
Yeah, and I
wouldn't
think
have thought it'd be much.
I think the Hastings brothers have done quite a bit on special teams, and there's a couple of their videos sitting around on YouTube somewhere that goes into a great deal around that, because it does not necessarily just level. This is where sometimes if you've got that quick guard sitting on your squad who's only level 12, they're actually more valuable on special teams than that level 18 60s guy, because he'll be capped out at a lower level. So so that's where special teams can, if you have got the intricacies of that, you can maximize to the limits that you currently have if you've got the right kind of QST splits and things like that. But again, it's extra spaces in a squad. Again, it's that, do you go with it or don't you? So
It's all part of roster management.
Yeah, exactly. And but we all know where we need to go if we want to get a quick guard in a couple of seasons.
Indeed. Anyway,
Right.
back to this game. Well done, Colin. Top
Yep.
win that. On the road, you don't see many road wins, especially in the playoffs.
No, only if you go to the Spartans normally, and someone's gone to the Magpies and got one instead.
Or if you go to Dallas.
Oh, Dallas.
Oh,
Oh, yes. Right.
oh, Jerry.
Let's.
I know that was what made me laugh the most, just watching him in the box.
Worming.
All right, let's move on. Let's stay on GFL target. Right. Okay. Dan. He wasn't very confident. He thought we'd overcooked it on our predictions, but I think we were all pretty much spot on with this one.
Was it 15-33? Oh, I was close.
You were pretty close, Jez. You were almost bang on the money.
15. Oh, look at that.
Matt wasn't
It's
too
pretty
far away.
close.
That's about as close as I've ever been, I think.
Yeah. So Dan thought it was going to be a lot closer, but the Razorbacks managed to do the business.
Who's going to call 15? No one scores 15 points, for fuck's sake.
Yeah, we got there.
There actually wasn't that much in this game because there was a pick six that Dan got, and then he had a punt return for a TD as well. So there was a couple of special plays that just basically just won him the game pretty much almost. There wasn't a lot in it.
Yeah, special teams have done it. So if we look at that, so we got 12th minute, 14th.
I don't know. He's still got twice as many first downs on offense, and
I know,
absolutely bossed the ball. So,
but we do know that Dan likes his special teams, doesn't he? So
yeah, I'm just going to have a quick look because it says is it a punt return or is it a kick return?
Kick return, 14th minute, wasn't it?
I thought it was a punt return.
Well, let's just double check it because it does say.
Obasi, 14th minute.
No, that's the pick. That's the pick in it.
Yeah, this one, 29th minute.
That's the interception.
42 yard. Oh no, pump for 25 yard. 42. Yeah, boom, returner. Yeah.
Boom.
Right.
He looks to have
Blues need to get a new punter. If he's only punting 29 yards,
that's not good, is it?
He looks to have the much better special teams unit on the field today, surprisingly.
What, after he scores a TD?
After he scores the TD, yeah.
Jeeves has got spaghetti leg. Blues need to sort that out.
They'll see. In the comments, it'll say punt is cramped or something like that.
No, it doesn't.
He is just.
No,
he's
just got a spaghetti leg. That should be an attribute for punters.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. SL in brackets by Jeeves.
Chris Packet foot. Right. So John Coleman has put the comment on there. Dan V. Johnny is still on. I tell you, these continental boys, they're G'd up about having a continental bowl in the Atlantic. They're following this avidly to see if they can see a couple of their ex-coaches, move into the bowl. I think there's a pretty good chance.
They follow it a bit more. I don't know. I still fancy the Heroes.
I think that's divisional rivalry bias you may have there, Matt.
Steady on, Matt. Don't jump the gun. Let's come to that.
Based on the fact that the Heroes are the only team that's beaten the Avalanche this year.
This is true. Yeah. Right. So yeah, good game. CB getting the MVP. So
he got the pick six, didn't he?
Yeah, Razorbacks doing it. Full team turn up. Even managed to have a kicker who scored more than he missed.
He didn't have a field goal outside 34 yards though. So everything in there.
Still
I mean,
I'll still take it. The amount of
Well,
50 percentage or more kicks that I've seen missed at these things, I could throw this unit out the window.
he's missed one from 20 yards, which must have been on their 3-yard line, doesn't it? Doesn't it add 17 yards a field goal?
I think so, yeah.
So, I mean, a lot of those are in the red zone. If not all, no, all of them are in the red zone, apart from the first one.
But
So,
again, I've seen it many times. You know, you're sitting there. You've had. I think I've had my worst has been like in the playoffs against the fucking Snow Bears, probably
probably.
three kicks with over 60% chance of making them and missed every single one of them. So
Yeah,
it's
that'll be a concern for Dan though going into next week, that he's got that many red zone possessions and only come away with field goals from them. Granted, he's hit 4 out of 5, the kicker, so no spaghetti legs there. But the fact that the red zone offense has faltered a bit will give him a bit of cause for concern for next week.
yeah. I think it was his running back still running with a C as well for this one. I know he only had the B. So yeah, maybe, but the Blues have done well this season, considering that the way they looked at the beginning of the season from all the reviews. They've run them reasonably close here as well. Tight game.
Yeah, decent team, Blues.
Yeah, be interesting to see whether Alex thinks he's got another season or two in him.
Aren't they quite old? Weren't they quite? Did they have quite high age on the year?
I think they are, Matt.
Weren't
Yeah,
they one of the oldest ones?
I think so. Let's have a look. So by starters,
9th by team.
Starters are
And
down
17th by starters.
No, they're not. No, they're still.
Not too bad.
No, they've still got another year.
Yeah. See.
At least.
Those names at the top of the oldest are interesting. Avalanche, Magpies, Barbarians, then Stampede. You old fuckers.
That's, to be fair, that's probably all my older offensive line. My O line's a bit old.
Geriatric, by the look at that.
All right. Let's have a look at this one then. So Outlaws, Snow Bears.
Good game. Good game, this one.
Was it? Go on. Give us the lowdown, Jez.
Well, Outlaws did enough to win it. I mean, they bossed it really. More first downs, more yardage, edge possession. Not many teams do that at Bath. But his kicker just had an absolute brain melt, and turned up with a 50p foot.
Oh yes. So
Horrible.
So we've gone from one game where you're just going, oh yeah, but he's only kicking those from like 19. He's only kicking them from 24. They're sitters, and he managed to get an 18-yarder. So good on him. But
Yeah.
a couple of 20, a 26, a 27 in there, and a 38. Those are kind of you're hoping all of those are well into the 50s, 60s percentage sort of thing, and a couple of 45s. But yeah, that is terrible.
No, he
isn't it?
scored the 27, but he missed the 26.
Oh yes,
That's horrible. That's what, from the 9-yard line, isn't it? So
yeah, and then you've got the Bath Snow Bears, and you've got D2 knocking one in from 54.
Yeah, classic.
Oh dear.
So I can imagine the shit that got thrown around in Casa Haydock when those kicks were going wide. There was probably a double doink in there at one point. But
hang on.
especially, I mean, if you get beat, you get beat. That's fine. But the Outlaws actually didn't deserve to lose this. If you scroll through it, I don't know if you guys have watched the game, but if you watch the game, they bossed it. They did way enough. They drove the ball up the field time and time again, and then bloody Doofus turns up and kicks it to the corner flag.
The interesting thing is actually is James laid some groundwork out for a defensive game plan to stop Bath's offense, basically.
Yeah,
It
possibly.
looks like it, because it wasn't the usual Bath offense. You've got the same players, although I still think James has been coaching his defense up pretty much all year, based on the amount of shutouts he's had.
Look at that on the 9-yard line, 26-yard field goal, not good.
I think even I could make a 26-yard field goal.
You could do it with a donkey kick, Matt.
I think I could make a 26-yard field goal.
On a 9-yard line, that's where you want to be pulling out that one special team's play you've got each season, don't you? Instead, it just randomly pulls it out on some kick return that you've managed to stop them for 2 yards, and you're like, is that it? Is that it? I waited all season for that, and all I've done is managed to stop them once. Instead of them getting a 25 or a 19-yard return, I've managed to get them to a 2-yard return. Is that it? Fucking hell.
When the kick return is level 2 in the first place or something.
Yeah. Oh dear. It's one of the most disappointing tick boxes to use each season.
I don't often have a lot of sympathy for James, as I tell him continually, but I really feel for him on this one because he didn't deserve to. But Snow Bears are a really, really good side, and games against them you'll win. I mean, we beat them at home this year, but only just, literally by the skin of our teeth, and they smashed us at Bath. To win it against them, it's the sort of thing where you play 10 games and you might win one of them. This was the one that the Outlaws should have won, and they didn't because the kicker was an absolute spoon.
Well, I can attest to the Snow Bears managing to do that quite a few times. So I don't know if there's something loaded in the game that says if in doubt, bang on 50-50 chance of something, then just give it to the fucking Snow Bears or not. I don't know.
James's comment made me laugh there. He's written that. He's written an absolute rant about his fucking kicker being an absolute dickhead. And it's, 4 lines worth. And then he's deleted it and gone, good game, Lee.
Yeah, I think he put his trade board up before he came back and commented on this one. I think so.
Yeah, that
He
went straight
obviously
up.
watched the game, thought, "Fuck it, you're all going. Who wants an absolutely monster running back? Because I've had enough of him. Couldn't get the job done."
I'm surprised Mountain wasn't the first one on the trade board.
Oh dear.
Is he on the trade board? Is he
No.
on? Did he put him on?
I don't think
That's
so.
been the first
No,
thing he's done.
he's probably just waiting to cut him. He's probably just going to cut him.
No, he's not on the trade board.
But no, close game. Home field gets it.
Really good game though to watch. Had a bit of everything.
Yeah, good stuff.
But
So
ultimately, well done, LJE.
yeah,
The Polar Bears go on.
He's actually turned up to make a comment for the first time this season as well. Just to, so take that as a compliment, James. Lee dusted off his keyboard and came back to just let you know that you were considered mortal enemy.
Well, he does love beating James, as everyone does.
Who does?
Well, yeah, exactly. I didn't get the chance to this year. I got my ass handed to me by him, but there we go.
All right, on to our last one then. So we had the Generals against the Avalanche. This one, I think we all went this way. 2042. So, what do we have?
Ooh, oh no,
1438 wasn't too bad.
Oh, Matt, you weren't far off there.
2135.
1 million miles off, no.
Both of you, yeah.
Yeah, and a 41-7. So yeah, I didn't think the Generals would have a chance. Couldn't see it happening.
I don't think the Generals thought they'd have a chance, realistically.
No.
It was as comfortable a playoff win as you can probably. Well, they put up some points and they asked some questions, a couple of turnovers, but it was only ever going to be one result.
Yeah, Hill's there with a 6.2 average, and I mean that is a grind. When you look at that, and you're like, well, he's only managed to get a 9-yard breakaway at one point.
Long of 9 and he's averaging 6.2. That is something else.
Yeah. What's your thoughts on that one, Matt? You're a running back expert.
I think they might have a good offensive line. Don't know. He's got to be level 18 minimum, I would have thought. Easy. But I'm more impressed with the passer, the quarterback. When he missed 3 passes there.
Yeah.
3 passes?
Oh, yeah.
I can't see on my screen.
One of those was an interception.
I so completed that one as well then. So he missed 2.
Yeah. Yeah, but I mean both quarterbacks did well. You know, his quarterback ratings, 5 passing TDs in the game. But yeah, he'll look like the difference really, but grinding it out.
Neither of them could stop the pass. They both had, over 80% completion percentage. And Miles with his cheeky 1-for-1 there for 4 yards, and then he went off and smoked a cigar on the sideline there. Loves a bit of that.
Yeah.
So Hill was the difference on this one. Hill was unstoppable.
Yeah, right. So that leads us on to what we've got this week, which is those championship games. So Heroes at the Avalanche. We just have a quick little look to see.
Have Do and Minty got it? Is it Do or Do? What do we think? Are we going with Do or Do?
Do.
It depends if you're trying to make it into a musical or not, I guess. You probably
Do.
Yeah.
Do.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm going with Do. No, Do's got an E on, is it? Let's go Do. Yeah. Do and Minty.
Do to deer, a female deer. Then to Ray, drop a golden.
So you going? Should we sit back and you're going to go for the full musical interlude?
Yeah, I'm gonna have a fair few players to start naming. Maybe I will see if I can try and get a full song verse in there this season. All right, so injuries are looking good. So only a few Bs. So we shouldn't have anything here that says we're going to be robbed of seeing some even football. Johnny
What's the Avalanche pass defense like?
I don't think it's as strong as it's rated.
9. This game is all going to be about if Do and Minty have got enough to put up enough points. So it's going to be a shootout. They're both going to score points. Can Avalanche contain Do and Minty?
But the Heroes are the only team that's beaten the Avalanche this year. So, but that was with minus 22 levels. So how much does minus 22 levels make a difference?
Good stat though, Matt. Sounds like you've done some research, Matt.
I did 5 minutes before I came online.
Get in. I'm going to start calling you Stato.
I noticed as well that the Heroes are running that 3-3 nickel with a safety. You don't see that often as a favoured offence.
No.
Favorite defense.
Yeah,
That's not
favoured
going to work
defence.
very well against. Not going to work very well against the Avalanche's Russian
Not against the
attack, is it?
Russian offence.
Would have thought so.
Yeah.
We got any clues from the previous meeting, which was week 9? Any?
I was just going to have a look at his. One of my college players. So he's playing probably a pretty decent tech safety in that nickel.
Ethereum. That's a good name.
That's a good name, do you say?
Oh.
Oh.
If you named him, he'd be called Up Your Urethra, something.
Oh dear. Well, he's managed to get Unready Son, so he's got one dodgy name in there for sure.
Yeah.
But any other clues? So Hill and Akers both ran riot on them that first time around.
Look at the time of possession. That's ridiculous.
Yeah.
How the hell Heroes put up 31 points with such little ball is amazing. They just got chunk plays when they had it through deep.
Yeah, and it looks like in that previous game that Johnny rested Akers to maybe make sure he got back to just the B injury. So maybe that's a sign he's going to be running the 2.
Yeah, Akers will be back in on a B. I'm sure. It's too big a game to leave him on the side with a B.
Yeah. But yeah, and then Minty's there with his 25 average. So what do you reckon, Matt? Is that giving
On this
you
one,
any...
if
Coach up any players up?
Sorry, what was that?
yeah, we'll see. I still can't see Avalanche losing. Not at home.
Cool. Does it keep cutting out for you?
It's not too bad. It was it was just a little bit there where I couldn't work out what you'd said. Although saying that, you do appear to have cut out now.
Yeah.
Okay.
Right, we're back in. Come on, Discord. You got this.
Dodgy hotel Wi-Fi.
Might be the dodgy hotel Wi-Fi, yeah. Right, so that's the championship game we've got there. Heroes Avalanche. So should we put something next to those?
Do it.
Go for it.
Who wants to go first this time?
Well, I'll go quick before it cuts off.
Go on then. Who you got for this one then, Matt?
It's cut off.
42-41.
Whoa, what a game.
My days.
What a game. To heroes.
Yeah, to the heroes.
Oh, man. That'd be a belter. Right, I'm going 28 38.
Oh. I'm gonna go 24. It can't be that many. Can't be that many, can it? Let's go 40. Hardly. We'll go with that. Right. Okay. So, just Matt. Obviously, I mean, surely you were never going to back the Avalanche anyway.
I don't know. I've just got a feeling that we're due a wild card winning the whole thing. I don't know.
You reckon Do and Minty are going to go off?
Well, they sneaked into the playoffs and they've won. They've won 2 away games now. I've just got this sneaking suspicion they could go all the way. I don't know.
That overpowered deep zone, isn't it?
It does. Yeah. It's also the fact that they beat them last time makes you think it's possible. But as I say, the 22 levels could make a massive difference. It could be 22 levels could be equal an extra 20 points for the Avalanche. You just don't know.
Yeah, that's huge. 22 levels is huge, isn't it?
Yeah. Right, let's have a look at this one then. So we've got the Razorbacks are at home against the Snow Bears. Razorbacks have never beaten the Snow Bears apparently.
Jeez.
So this would be a good time to get the first one and finish the 2-season run that the Snow Bears have had, because they're going for their 3-peat. So
Tasty game, this one.
Yeah. We've got
Come on, Dan.
game.
Stop him getting a 3-peat.
No major injuries, only Bs, isn't it? Although Rosa's running back lows on a B, but it's a B, so not the end of the world.
No, it's all good.
Razors with a spread of 15. Wallop.
Yeah.
Ricky, I often wonder what Ricky's smoking. Some of his spreads are a bit out there.
Hers.
Yeah.
Hers? Oh, is that Ricky?
Was it Norwegian? She was Scandinavian, wasn't she? I can't remember. Was it Norwegian?
I think it was. Yeah.
You two know her?
Yeah, she was.
She was in the Big Sky for a long time.
Coaching the Big Sky, and then coaching the GFL at the Armadillos, and then I think she went back to the Big Sky for a little bit. So yeah. Right. What do we reckon then?
That's interesting. Both of them like playing 3-3 corner, but they've both got running games. So, although both primarily passing teams, depends which way LJE lines up his team. If he wants to go running, Excalibur's can take it on possibly more than low with a B. I think Razors are probably more pass first.
One up the middle, one round the side. And what we've got, Monk. Tight ends, so short zone, run flat.
3 wide eye is not the best to play a running game from, though, is it? It's underpowered on 3 wide eye.
I think the edge is the end that Dan's got there. That number 1, 27 sacks this year.
Yeah, Kilgallen's been a beast this year.
Yeah, that could be. That could slow the long pass game down if he gets 2 or 3 sacks, just to
Long
Could make
passing,
a
you can get
difference.
away with that though, can't you? You normally, if you get a sack and you lose 5 or 6 yards on it, it's a drive killer. But with deep zone, all it takes is one pass to Watson for 14 yards, and it's you're straight back in it.
It does, but it still makes a difference.
Yeah.
If you work on the average, he's going to get 3 sacks on a game in the game. That comes on a sack after, then he gets a holding penalty after that drive's done.
It's the sacks, but it's also the pressures, isn't it? Because you get the game report saying, the quarterback either threw it away there because he was under pressure, or he was worried about more pressure, or something like that. So, it's Kilgannon. I think he's probably trained Kilgannon up to a high teens, if not even into the 20s. He's been brilliant all season.
I would guess he's like 21, 22. Actually. That would be my guess.
Yeah, no, Lee's front line. So he's running that 3-3 nickel, but one of his defensive ends is, I think, a 60 strong. So he's not going to have as much on that pass rush as well against
Right.
the Razorbacks. Like you say, Kilgannon's been a beast.
Yeah, Dan's pass rush is first in the league, top of the league. Lee's is 15th.
Yeah, and interestingly, if we look at the previous game, it was, I think, something. I mean,
still got 2 sacks though.
Yeah, but this average is down as well. So this average, I mean, when we've seen some of the averages that Snow Bears have been getting against teams where an extra 4 up to the 20s average, and this was 15, 14.
Yeah, and there's not many teams that have held Watson to 59 yards. I think that's probably a season low without going through every game. He's sticking up 150, 200 yards most games.
Yeah. So I don't know if again that was the Outlaws got a reasonably decent. So it's Wick. He's put 16 sacks in there this season. So I think that will impact the Snow Bears long passing game. I think it might be enough to slow them down.
Might give him a few auto incompletes, if nothing else.
Yeah. So
definitely one to watch this game. Really looking forward to it.
Yeah. And with that, it will just be interesting to see whether, because I was just double checking, but this is one of these fast quarterbacks. So again, with that rush, is that going to give us a different dynamic where actually we're going to see this guy put more rushing yards up than Scalabur potentially?
And normally, you'd look at a quarterback like that and you'd think, "Oh, fucking hell, that's shit QSTs." If you looked at a quarterback like that in the draft, he would go in the 5th round, 6th round, something like that. Where did he go? 4th. Yeah, 4th.
I would put him with a barge pole.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't think I'd take him in the 8th, to be honest.
This guy's won 2 bowls and he's been pivotal in both. Insane. So yes, he'll have him at a high level, but he's also got some really nice attributes. Yeah, have a look at those attributes. Especially as a quick one, evasive runner. So he's difficult to sack, and he'll scramble out of trouble on a number of occasions through a game. Leader in the playoffs as well. That's really undervalued. I don't know if it is undervalued, but it's a really important thing. Obviously, once you get in the playoffs, because it then adds a different dimension to the play and certain plays in key moments during the game.
Yeah.
So
and highly experienced as well.
Yeah.
So
he's calling the plays at the line of scrimmage.
He's calling the right kind of plays. He's got the extra leadership. He knows when he's got to run it. So
with shit QSTs.
Yep. absolutely. So,
But just goes to show, doesn't it? It's he might have shit QSTs, but he's got 2 bowl rings.
yeah, it's just that option again. If that pass rush is good and he's able to make that AI makes the right decision, then he has got some legs on him to maybe still turn it into a positive yardage play. Right, so let's have a look at scoring this one then. So I'll go first this time. I'm not backing the Bears.
Shocker.
Well, I think there's potential there for it to be a pretty big scoring game. So I'm going to go 42, 48. Right, Jess?
I genuinely don't know on this one. I genuinely don't know. I'm going to go.
We never know. We're only ever guessing.
No, I know. I've known all of the others, obviously. Let's go. 34, 41.
Right. Matt.
I'm going to go 21, 24.
Right. Okay.
Oh, I think you've nailed that, Matt.
But to be honest, it wouldn't surprise me if it was the other way around. I think there'll be 3 points in it, regardless if he wins. I don't think there'll be much in it.
We've all gone with the Razors. We've all gone against the Snow Bears. Reigning champs.
We're all hoping. We're all hoping it doesn't. Yeah.
What can we say? All these Delta boys keep calling the sandbagger, so maybe we've fallen for it. So yeah, right.
Lee's going to come and wipe the floor, isn't it? Now.
Yeah, and that whole Snow Bears Avalanche still on, Jez, still on.
I was on my own there. I'm the solitary prediction.
Yeah, you were the only one who actually gave a fuck this season. Right, okay, so there's our conference championships, and if we were to go with the majority there, it looks like we think we're going to have an Avalanche Razorbacks bowl. So we'll see what happens. Right, next thing, we had the Redaction Flight Lounge. We covered a little bit, I think, earlier last week. I was going to go away.
You've gone to town on the graphic there. Look at that.
Try my best. Luckily, I was going to go and have a look to see around the leagues any other potential contenders, but I left it late enough that the hats came back, and I came back in. I was like, hats update number 3, final. Oh my word, what's going on here? So sure enough, we have LJE is signed up to head towards the GFL. Gates closed now. Gates closed.
LJE is Tom Hanks.
He is Tom Hanks. He's got a full suitcase of pipe and slippers in there now.
He's sleepless in Seattle.
He's ready. He's got his pre-sent spreadsheet from Dave Russell telling Dave exactly what the prices are in the league for all the players, and he's going to be willing to trade with him when he moves up. Funnily enough, I was in Waitrose the other day and picking up some groceries, and I noticed Lee's missus was in town, so she didn't pop in to say hello, but yeah, I thought that was a little bit bizarre. Hopefully LJE's got number 1. I'm sure he probably has. After the amount of bowls he's won in the Delta and going for his 3-peat now, I'm sure he's got LJE 1, and he's probably got all the stars in the back window, all lined up there.
Yeah, parked behind his automatic gates. Yeah, of course.
Absolutely.
Look how shiny those rims are. There's something special. I wish my car was that shiny at the moment.
I know that was a crappy weather day as well. So yeah, done a good job with that. And I got it in my head that LJE #1, whatever that car is, it's probably pink, based on the way that he designs his kits. So, but
Do you
yeah,
think
there
it's
we go.
got like sponsorship, like Throne Katanas down one side and Bar Snow Bears down the other side?
Yeah, and he's gonna have to strip that off now, heading up to the Quake in the GFL. They obviously, I think it was Shane decided he didn't have enough time anymore. Got his bowl win eventually, and they've installed another Lee in at the head coach position there. So at least he goes in on the NFC side. So it's not just your sole mission to try and stop Dave Russell from winning the championship game every season. So yeah, might be a little bit of variation there. But
well done, Lee. Good on you, mate. And all the best in the GFL.
Yep, well done.
He'll more than he
Congratulations.
knows what he's doing. Obviously, he'll more than hold his own up there. He'll ruffle a few feathers, no doubt.
He's climbed the full ladder now. He's climbed the full ladder, the promotion ladder that's in place in Gridiron. So
That's
coming
not
in,
a promotion ladder, Greg. You know that. You know
isn't
better,
it?
young man.
Isn't it? It definitely feels like a promotion ladder to me. But there we go. And we got Adrian coming up from the Big Sky. So we did have him on the list. He was one of the ones that we talked about previously. I think he's probably been bombarding the Riches, going, "Can I have the Snow Bears back? Can I have the Snow Bears back? Can I have the Snow Bears back?" And they've finally gone, "Look, just shut up, leave us alone. There they are. Take them back, and don't message us again." So
Hang on, we picked those two. This makes it look like we know what we're talking about.
I'm not sure we picked this left-hand side, but he was definitely on our shortlist.
Well,
But
yeah, he was on the list.
We're gonna take that, are we? We'll take that.
We didn't.
Yeah.
I mean, that wasn't in an order, was it? That list.
No.
It was just the list.
Yep. So yeah, I think it was one of those ones that if Lee went and the Snow Bears came up, because he keeps making a big deal about it on the sound bites about there's only one team I want. There's only one team I want. He wants to come back to the Snow Bears. And so yeah, he's got them.
So we're moving back to Branks or whatever it is. Is it Branks? Is it somewhere in Russia?
Yeah, and I thought they were always Snow Bears, but then when I looked at this the other day, they were the Oilers.
Oilers.
Is that right, or is that, I don't know.
No, they were the Branks Snow Bears when Adrian had it. I don't know where this Oilers crap.
Okay. So yeah, so I don't know what's happened there. Bit strange. Indeed. So answers on the postcards.
I don't know why you choose it. Why it would be moved from the Oilers. That doesn't offend any minority groups or anything like that.
As far as I remember, they've always been the Snow Bears. Now, whether he chose it, whether the Oilers was one in the pre-season and it got changed again in pre-season, I don't know. But they were the Snow Bears. It was the Snow Bears when Adrian was there.
Yeah. So maybe Adrian can clear that one up for us.
We'll see if he takes them back to Bratsk anyway.
I bet money they do.
He says he is. He says he is. I think there was a comment on here. Snow Bears back to Bratsk. Yes, Dave. Back in the cold. So they'll be getting moved.
Aye, and at least 2 strong ILBs will be going in the draft as well to the Snow Bears.
Do you want to expand on that one a little bit more, Matt?
Adrian had an ILB, was a strong ILB. I can't remember his name. Was it Kusin or something like that? his name was, but he had something crazy. I think is he the leading tackler still in the league? I can't remember. He had over 1,000 tackles at some point.
Okay. Well, hopefully he does, because I've got 2 of those he can have. So we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. But I also have his first round pick. So there we go. Right. Okay. So Flight Lounge is closed. We know who's moving up and down. The only other thing I think we were going to have a quick little look at was what's going on the trade boards. Have these livened up a little bit? James has put his wares out there today. Come get your beast RB.
He couldn't get rid of last year.
He couldn't get rid of last year, and a beast that he still couldn't run against the Snow Bears. Again, this is one of those ones like, you know, the old 40-40 for me. It's like, oh yeah, but when you get to the playoffs, they're not going to be doing the business. But you know,
He's an odd one, isn't he? Because level 18, perfect QSTs. The run line is, as everyone's been saying for quite a while now, it's overpowered. And he averaged just under 4 yards a carry, which is not really a whole lot to write home about. So whether the problem was on the O-line or I don't know, whether the plays weren't designed to maximise his talents, but he wasn't keen on him last year, and he's not keen on him again.
Yeah. Not great. And then what have we got? You've had any sniffs around your high-level OT, Jess?
Nothing yet to either of my boys, but I wouldn't expect anyone to commit to a big trade before the draft list is released. It's more just to kind of put them out there to get people thinking once the list is out, and then if I still want to take offers for them, I'll have a look at it at that point. But yeah, it's just a case of looking at seeing what the structure of my team is going to look like next year. I'm planning on making at least one change, if not 2, to how we line up. So yeah, we'll see where that goes. If anyone's looking for a banging left tackle or a nice tech tight end for their short zone passing game, then we can have a chat. If not, we'll have a look after the draft list is out. That's probably when most of the trade talk's going to happen.
Yep, yeah, definitely. So Matt, those 2 players that Jess talking about there. So what's your selling price if that were you? And what's your buying price?
What level are they?
So we got
18 for left.
Yeah, level 18.
18 and 17. The left tackle's 18.
The left tackle's got to be worth at least a first, second, and a mid-round pick, I would have thought.
Oh,
that's what I'd expect.
Is that your buying price? Is that your buying price? That's definitely his buying price.
That's his buying price.
That's definitely.
That wouldn't be your selling price. If you had a level 18 65Q experienced left tackle, age 4, you wouldn't accept 1 and 2 for him. I know that for sure.
2 first, a 4th, and a 7th.
Look at that. Did you say you were looking to buy an offense this season?
No, it's defense. If it was anything but, I don't need a left tackle. I've got plenty of them.
Right.
Got some defensive players I'm buying.
Oh, there you go. You got the Lee Yamato from the Nighthawks there. Do you know what? It really annoys me that there's no MSAR. You can't put your MSARs on this board.
Yeah.
Because you definitely want to see that. And
do you know what else annoys me? It annoys me that the attributes go up there. So when you take the assignments, the attributes disappear. That annoys me. What also annoys me is even when you go by postings, it shows the attributes, but it doesn't show special teams. It doesn't show holder. It doesn't show long snapper. It can't be that hard just to stick those on as categories. It's just a field. It's just adding a field. It can't be that hard.
So the question is, has anybody ever actually asked for them? I think I've definitely asked for the MSAR from memory. I think I have. But yeah, I know what you mean about the.
I can't believe it. If it bugs me that much, it must have been asked for before. I don't know. I'm just there's no science involved in that. But I can't be that out there. I'm not normally that out there.
I mean,
I don't know. It's like special teams. It's all a secret, isn't it? You know, you don't know what anybody's playing in special teams. Like you don't know what the special teams specialisms are. Yeah, it's all
It's
a
not that
secret.
much of a secret because it's on their roster that everyone can see. So if it's that visible, then why can't it go on the trade board? And in actual fact, the coach trying to sell them should want that to be publicised because in theory, it should add a bit of value. If they've got special teams because it sticks a couple of levels on special teams play. If they're a holder, if they're a long snapper, those kinds of things. Some people look purposely for them, and it's worth sticking them on for the value side of things.
And the other thing for the MSAR as well is I think it's always good to have it because if you look at the part when that comes out against the MSAR, you can just confirm as well. It just helps you a little bit with where some of those players are going to land as well when you're pricing them. Because you do get those ones that are those occasional kind of MSAR's weak, par comes in strong, so then you know that it's going to be sitting around a C. Yeah, because you can't have that differentiation as much. So again, having both of them out there gives a bit more visibility, helps with talking about what the price is and it all being out in the open and things like that. So yeah, I don't know why it can't go on there.
Anyway, anyone wants to have a chat with me about my lads, just drop me an email, hit me up. Let's talk some trades. I love the trade season. I love the off season. It's in some instances I love it more than actually playing games. It can be really good fun. It can be like pulling teeth as well. It depends. Although this trade season is going to be so bloody distorted by you bugger, because you've got half the picks. So,
I think it'll be extremely slow. Extremely slow. Well, unless Greg decides to buy.
Well, either buy or trade out.
It's a bad season. Bad season for anybody who's want to run a nuke, right? There's no picks available. So yeah. No, I don't think that'll be happening. But yeah, it's interesting really that it'll be interesting to see how it does go because I think it has been pretty slow past couple of seasons anyway in the Atlantic trading wise. We've seen some big boards come up, but nothing kind of disappear. Boards come up, boards come down. Not many players moving. Maybe a couple here or there going to a team that maybe think they've got a chance, but there hasn't been anything too big past couple of seasons.
There's a lot of. I mean, I've come from the Empire, and the Empire's always been quite active in trading, which is great. It's good fun. There's a lot more. There's a higher percentage of coaches in the Atlantic that either don't want to trade or don't like trading, or are just inactive during the off season, which is a bit frustrating coming from a league that is quite active on the trading side of things. But I don't know what you do about that. What can you do about it? You can't do anything about it, really, can you?
You can't, No, you can't. And if you are a team that is trying to maintain, which then means you do have to have that kind of natural cycle of players moving around the league, as you see like in the NFL, you'll see players move around and people start to fill gaps. But you've got all of those teams are trying to do that. In this game, you've got some teams that will just be like, I will just build from a draft, no problem.
Mm.
That's all I'll do, and I don't need to do anything else.
But how many teams have won a bowl purely from building from a draft? I would
There's a simple
probably
answer on
say
that.
it's really, really low.
There's a simple answer on that. Look at Greg's first round picks. Right? I'd say there's about 50% of the league that's likely to trade. So 16 coaches are trading. Probably 12 of them have already sent Greg the first round pick this year.
I can show
Look
you
at the
that.
draft order. Look at the draft order and see which teams don't trade, just draft, and see where they are on the board and see what's their level of success. It's very low.
And you're left with about 2 or 3 potential trades.
Yeah. I mean, if Greg wanted any more first round picks, there's only about 3 coaches you can make trades with that'll trade the first out to them. There aren't many there that you get another first round pick or would be willing to trade a first round pick. About 12 to 16 of them will just keep the first round pick regardless.
You must be looking at trading some of those lower first round picks up to get into the top 5.
Yeah, maybe. But
That's
again,
what I'd be doing, depending on what comes out on the draft list, because obviously that will be key to whatever your strategy forms on the back of that. But that's what I'd be thinking about for sure.
Yeah, it does depend because
Yeah, but out of that top 10, who's going to trade apart from the Nighthawks?
I think
Yeah, but
Alex might do.
If an offer's put to them that's crazy, stupid, not to turn down. I mean, if he offers 2 bottom end firsts and a 4th for the pick at 4th or 5th, that's well worth it.
Yeah, but teams won't do it. I agree, it's worth it. Every time the 2 times I've rebuilt, I've sold a top draw first round pick and moved down the draft. I think that's the way to rebuild. But you rarely see it. Rarely see it.
But that goes back to my point. How many teams have won a bowl purely from drafting? I mean, if Greg wins a bowl on the back of drafting all this lot, that doesn't count because he's got all these picks through drafting, through trading. Sorry.
What?
So.
No, I know. You do it where you want. Basically, what we mean by that is, you've done it with your 8 picks you get every season, and that's you've drafted 8 players.
Has anyone ever won a bowl just purely with their 8 picks every season? I doubt it very much. Like I said, there's no science behind that, and someone will come up on the comments now and say, "Yeah, I did it." So it might have been done before, but I can almost guarantee that the vast majority of bowl winners have been traders.
Even if you only make 2 or 3, if you make 2 or 3 trades, if you trade the right pieces, see, because you never know where your aging is going to fall. You could have an entire unit completely bottomed out. It could all get rolled 10s. You've got to trade. You're not going to have the cover for it. Sometimes you are going to have to trade in, a new starter or a starter for a season where you get to draft somebody else to come in and fill the hole. But you only have to look at your pre-aging, and every year you always see one unit that gets completely wiped out in that red color or whatever it is, and you go, for fuck's sake.
Yep.
Yeah, and trading, there's never a real. There's often a slight imbalance with trades. It often either favors you or it doesn't favor you, and sometimes the trades that don't favor you are still worth doing. because the long-term results are worth it, or the projection is worth it. And it's just a matter of eking the value as much as you can without, we're still doing a fair trade, obviously, but you can't. I don't think you can win a bowl with just your 8 picks. I genuinely don't.
No, I don't think so. I think only time you would do that is potentially within 4 to 5 seasons of a creation league, potentially.
Yeah.
Because you're still going to have the potentially the foundation of what you've put there, and it being those 1 or 2 players that you need to add, and you don't have to do it through trading to try and help you with that. But the maturity of where the leagues are, all of the leagues are us going into season 38, and on the basis that we only have 2 seasons a year, trying to build something purely from the draft and then to win it, I think the closest we've got to that is the team that we have at the Heroes. Yeah. So what Colin's doing with the Heroes, I think they are the closest to. They might have maybe run one trade, a couple of trades, but they've
I don't know. He
pretty
didn't have
much
a
gone from
fourth
there.
round pick this year, did he? So he must have traded that out for something. I don't know what he traded it out for. His first pick was the punter in round 2, wasn't it? So.
But that they seem to be the team that I would say are closest to winning a bowl off the fewest amount of trades. So yeah, but yeah, we'll see. I had a little look the other day. I realised I've scouted 3 players this season. I scouted 3 juniors last season. So if I get 6 scouted players come through, then I might depending on what they look like, I might have to rejig some picks and see if they're high or low in the first. But we shall see. We shall see.
You're a little devil, Greg.
I knew I did it for a reason. And then
Does that
I
mean
was
you're
like,
actually going to come out of your rebuild at some point?
maybe, I don't know. I was having a look. So what was it? Season 34, I think was the last time we were in the playoffs. So we'll be 3 seasons in. I'm probably not even really started. So yeah, maybe a couple of seasons if I stay on target, things go the right way. I don't know. We'll see. But when I came into Spitfire's first time, QS was very flat. The fact that I actually managed to build a bowl team out of what I was able to trade out of and then turn it around reasonably quickly, I think in 2 seasons to like start challenging and put 5 division titles together and actually get them to the bowl off of the shit that was there when I arrived. Wasn't too bad, but from what I've seen of other rebuilds that have happened since I've come here, there looked like there was a lot more good QSTs, a little bit more solid foundation there, a little bit more value, pushed it a little bit further. So I was like, this team needs proper reset. So we'll see where we go from there. 22.
And a proper reset it got.
Yeah, 22 new players on the roster from the draft this time around. So there's a young base there now. Whether they go up or down, who knows? But start building others around them.
Going to get younger.
Yes, yeah. I might have a 0 point something average age on the squad. You never know. Next season. Yeah. Right. I think.
So the only last thing I was going to say is the only thing that might happen with the trade boards is if the Snow Bears go into rebuild when Adrian gets there. That might liven the trade market up a little bit, but would you nuke that team or do not?
But like you say, what's the point in doing a rebuild when half the picks in the first round have gone and 60-70% of the ones that are remaining aren't going to trade?
I don't know. Don't know. We'll see.
Yeah.
We shall see.
Greg has killed trading this season.
And unless he comes in and thinks to himself, I cannot handle what quality Leah's put together here, and that's not how I want to play. Or he looks at it and goes, do you know what? I think I could win a bowl with this, or I might have a good chance of seeing this room winning a bowl with this. It'll depend on what that decision looks like. Blowing it up was what I wanted Lee to do in season 32, and he didn't, little fucker.
He'll probably have a good chance of another bowl run.
Oh,
I mean,
yeah.
it's a bit like Johnny coming into the Avalanche with a tasty roster and thinking, great, I can do stuff with this.
Yeah.
And I know Johnny was saying that he's brought in a whole load of new players and what have you, but he still turned up to a really good roster.
Yeah. But does he do
and
it,
he's
Johnny?
done a great job.
Does he do it, Johnny?
I'm not Johnny bashing it by any stretch of the means. He's a top coach. So,
but does he do a Johnny or does he do a Lottie?
with that Snow Bears roster, he's got way more chance of doing a Johnny.
Well,
way more.
The roster was supposedly there for the Rapiers as well, but we shall see.
I've got a feeling it might get blown up.
That would make things interesting if he does want to blow it up. Sometimes with a new coach as well, you do want to make it your own, don't you? If I'm a new coach coming into a roster that's got a wonky QST quarterback, although it performs great, you might still think, especially if he loses at the Razorbacks. If they lose at the Razorbacks, then he might think, right, that's the end of the road for this crew. But if he blows it up, he's going to have a problem unless he starts loading S39 picks and sits underground for an extra year. Because he's not going to boss this first round, is he?
There aren't many available. Let's put it like that.
Yeah.
Unless Greg just goes and offers 4 first round picks for his entire starters, that'd be one way to do a rebuild.
But I mean, if you look at that Snow Bears roster, you don't need to blow up a team to get a different style of quarterback that you know how to run a deep zone with. Yeah. A lot of those QSTs on those players are solid. Yeah, there's a different view on a quarterback. You don't have to blow up a team to just bring in a quarterback. And quarterbacks are cheap. Yeah. Quarterbacks are
I've got
cheap.
one available for one's available for a second. There you go.
If you get a second for him, you'll be doing well.
Or a half decent. I'd rather have a half decent defensive player. That's what I'd rather have, even if it takes slightly older.
Yeah, I mean,
right. So here's a question. Looking at this, Matt, no, Greg, go back to that.
Oh, sorry. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Matt, you are Nighthawks coach. Yeah, you got the first pick. Greg offers you picks 25, 26, and 27 for the first pick. You take that or not?
I'll snap his hands off.
Jesus, Jess, you just inflated the price of the first for me. Damn you.
Snap his hands off. Right. I think when I've done it twice before. I think the first season I had the Rough Riders in the Big Sky, I'd got the second overall pick. And I traded it out for a starting offensive guard who was age 0, level 8, and something like second or a first round, very low first or very early second. I can't remember what it was. So got myself another starter. Got another pick. Traded that pick out. Just kept trading down and trading down and down and down and down. When I was at the Stampede, when I took over, I got fuck all. I got the worst team I'd ever seen ever, and I still think it was the worst team that's been ever rebuilt. It took me put the entire squad up a trade, and I think the best I got was a second round pick that draft. It wasn't until the year after I managed to get a first round pick. Then when I got the first overall pick, at that point I traded it out for, I think it was 2 firsts, 2 seconds, and a third or something to Clay.
Yeah, see, I'd take that trade as well. And realistically, Greg, if you wanted to, you've got enough trade capital there to trade for picks 1, 2, and 4. If you wanted to.
Yeah.
And
I'm not sure
obviously if those coaches were open to that. But if you offer a coach 3 firsts for their top 5 pick, I think they'd be crazy not to take it.
Well, I won't be offering that. Yeah, we're gonna have to see. I mean, it's like everyone, right? Everyone sits around at this point of the season. You've only got 4 teams in each league are in it anymore, and everyone else is just sitting there going, "Show me the draft. Show me the draft. I need to see the draft." And we know that the draft's ready. They can show us that it's run, right? It's done. So yeah.
And it used to come out with the pre, was it the kind of preliminary draft before the college guys got added to it, which was a bit of a waste of time because it wasn't you can't then do anything with that. You can't prioritize anything with that.
Yeah.
I much prefer them doing it this way, where they just wait and then release the draft as a whole, so you can then see what's going on. I wish the attributes were sorted straight away, so you could then start prioritizing with attributes. But that's another step down the line, apparently.
Pain in the arse because you're trying to get the attributes in, and halfway through the first week of trading, they're still not there. So you're still not 100% certain what your value is. That's why half the time I don't bother trading until the second week, because the draft list isn't finalized until the second week. But I don't know. Yeah. I've got a sneaking suspicion it might be a horror. It'll either be a stonking draft or an absolute shit draft. I don't think it'll be anywhere in the middle.
Yeah.
I think it'll be either really, really good or really, really bad.
I think it'll be big. I think we're looking at a sort of a 7 or 8 elite draft.
Do you reckon?
Yeah. Big top end. Which is exactly why I'm thinking you're going to be trading up.
Maybe. Like I say,
because you've got 1 elite there. If you stick another, you might not get the first. You might get the second. You might get the first. You might not get the second. 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th, whatever. If you can stick another 2 or possibly 3, you've got enough trade capital there to stick another 2 or 3 in the top 8 there without doubt. And you could end up walking away with 4 elites, I reckon.
I think you'll struggle to get that many people to trade. I think there's only one team out of that top 10 that will trade the first then.
Which is crazy though, right? Because if you're sitting on the 6th,
it's crazy, but I think that's the issue.
You're sitting on the 6th pick, and someone offers you 3 firsts, irrespective of where they are, even if it's 29, 31, 32. 3 firsts for the 6th pick. You should bite their hand off for that, because that's going to be way more beneficial to the team long term than 1 pick.
I agree, but I just can't see it happening. The only one I can see trading out is the Nighthawks. Everybody else will draft.
Well, we'll see.
We shall see.
You can email someone an offer. They might never respond.
This is where we find out in a bit. When trading season comes on, and Greg says, "Well, actually, when we were having this discussion, I'd already agreed 3 picks, 3 drafts, trades already."
Yeah, I'm getting emailed now going, "No, you only gave it 2 first-round picks. I want another one." But yeah, I mean, when I look at this, I look at those and I'm like, which of those coaches will or will not get back to me if we if I actually went there and said, look, here's an offer, are you interested?
Mm.
And out of that top 10, I think there is probably only one, maybe two coaches that I would probably expect to get nothing back at all, as it just go into a black hole and I never hear anything back. Because I've traded
What,
with
only one or two coaches that you would expect to get a response from?
no, not get a response from.
Oh, not get a response from, right?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. So I've had responses from. So we've got what Kendall at 10, Richard at 9. Who's the Brighton one?
They
Rob.
both respond. Kendall and Richard both respond.
Yeah.
Just pull up the
So we've got
standings.
Rob. So we've got Rob.
Rob responds.
Well, that's good to know because I don't think I've ever actually tried to trade with Rob. So
I think I've tried to trade with everyone. So yeah, Rob responds.
really,
Yeah.
um,
Yeah, I've had emails from Rob.
yeah, I think number 5. Number 5's the only one I'd expect it to go into black hole and just not hear anything. The Cyclones.
Oh, who's that? Jason.
Yeah.
Yeah, Jason's. I have had emails with Jason, but few and far between. He responds to some, he doesn't respond to others.
Yeah.
So whether or not the non-responses are no's, it would still be nice just to get a no.
Yeah. But yeah, no, I think that's the only one, and definitely not number 12.
But I think if you give him a good enough offer, he'll respond.
Who's number
maybe.
12? Is that Clay?
Maybe
That's
my
Clay.
offer was just not good enough.
Oh no, is it me?
Yeah, that's Clay at 12. I definitely won't be able to get hold of that one because he'll want 5 first for it, he'll tell me it's available, and then I'll go, oh, okay, here's an offer for it. He goes, oh no, I didn't mean it was available. I mean, I was thinking about it being available. Actually, it's not available. So
No, Clay's all right.
I've never
It's
been
all
able
right.
to do a trade with him.
Clay's all right.
He's only going to draft a level 6 safety with it anyway, and then try and trade it out for a second into the draft.
Exactly. What's the point of that? Might as well.
No, Matt, on the back of what you said tonight, he's going for a 60S punter. Yes.
No,
That's the
he wants
way.
the kicker. He wants the kicker. 60 strength kicker, Clay. That's the one.
Yeah.
That's the
60S
one.
kicker,
That's the
yeah.
one for you.
Defeat
Yeah.
everyone's special teams. Get 60S kicker.
Yeah.
12th pick.
I know. I've given him my life advice. He enjoyed the life. He's been taking the tips on the life advice on the trade board. So
There we go.
bend your knees when lifting.
You should
Right.
set up a some sort of documentary, I think, Matt, about telling us a life coach. You could be our grid life coach.
There you go, Matt.
There's
There's the you just need to drop us some lovely comments on the trade board each time you update it. Just some sage life coach advice for everybody, and then we can see who then turns that into abusing you for telling them what to do. But yeah, right. I think we better draw a line under there because we've probably bored the tits off everyone now talking about that the trading, and we're not even in proper trading season yet. So yeah, once we see that draft order and that comes out, we'll probably be able to have a little bit more of an idea about how things are going to shape up. And you never know, Adrian might drop us some comments about whether he's just going to come in and blow it up while he's playing ACDC back in Brask.
He probably hasn't seen the roster yet. He won't get to see the roster until Lee stopped playing.
I was going to say he's got another 2 weeks at least to see the roster. I would have thought, unless Lee's been sharing it with him or something. I don't know.
Yeah, absolutely. Or it may just
But
depend
get
on.
trading, people. Get trading. The way
Yeah.
forward for planet Earth. Come on.
Yeah. It may just depend on how many vodkas he's had by the sounds of it as well, whether he hits the button or not. So we'll see. As long as it's not Grey Goose, apparently. But yeah, right. That's it then. Let's call it a night. It's getting late. Thanks, fellas. Always good as always to have a chat.
Cheers, boys.
Good luck to
Cheers.
everyone in the championship game.